Listen, and repeat. In the old days there was a hard-hearted king, and this king treated his people with the utmost cruelty, violence, and selfishness, so he did not listen to the complaints of his people, and did not meet their demands. He completely closed his ears to advice and guidance from those who surround him, from advisors and ministers. Everyone hated him completely, and this king put on his head a hat that he never takes off no matter what. He wore it under his crown, he wore it when he bathed, ate, or even slept. His people thought that he suffered from swelling in the head, or suffered from baldness in his scalp. One of them said, one day, that the king has 2 long horns, but people hurried and silenced him, so that he would not be harmed, and the secret of this hat was known only to the barber, who every period shaved the hair of this king's head, and every barber of the king disappeared mysteriously, and did not hear any news about them. The number of barbers in the city decreased significantly, and there were only 2 barbers left in the city. One of them is old, and elderly, retired from the barber profession completely, and the second is a young man, who did not master the barber profession well, and was still training. One day, the king's soldiers came to call the young barber. When the young barber learned of the king's order, his face paled from the abundance of fear and horror of an unknown fate destined for him. The young barber arrived to the king, who was sitting in front of a large mirror, waiting for the barber to attend and finish this shaving process. The king ordered the barber to start shaving, and when he took off the hat from above the king's head, the barber panicked and showed signs of panic, because he saw the king's ears that were long. The king asked him, "What is wrong with you?" The barber said, "I was enjoying my gaze with your beautiful hair, O king." The barber was very surprised by the shape of the king's ears, but he completed the shaving slowly, calmly and coherently, for fear of the king's reaction, if he saw the barber's reaction from the shape of his ears. The king asked the barber and said to him, "Are my ears long?" The barber quickly said that their shape is very natural, O king. So the king admired the barber, and decided that this barber cut the king's hair continuously. The king said to him, while warning him, "Do not say anything to anyone about the shape of my ears." After this the barber's work flourished a lot. He had many customers. Most of the customers asked him about the king's head and the secret of the hat, so the young barber remembered the king's threat to disclose the secret, and kept silent or evaded the answer, or enters into a big wave of incessant laughter. This was very difficult for him, until he fell ill and his stomach became swollen. The doctor advised him to get rid of what bothers him, or he will die, but the young barber told the doctor that this is very difficult, so the doctor advised him to go to the valley, and dig a large hole, and he has to tell all his secrets in order to get rid of the secrets that burden him. The young barber carried out the doctor's advice, and cured of his disease. Whenever he suffered, he got rid of secrets in any hole, or any tree trunk, or even the water of the lake. One day a cane plant grew in the hole dug by the young barber, and a shepherd passed by the plant. He took a stick from the tree, to make a flute out of it to play it. As soon as the shepherd played to the people, a voice came out of the flute, saying that the king's ears resemble the ears of a donkey. The shepherd was amazed by that. Then he went to the king to play for the king, and take a prize from him, but the king was angry, and asked to quickly bring the young barber, who was brought in front of him quickly to be punished. The young barber told the king that he did not talk to anyone about his secret, and that he only spoke in a hole or under water. But the king was not interested in this, because he was angry about revealing his secret to people. The barber was sentenced to death, before the execution of the sentence, the king heard a voice carried by the wind was the sound of the reed, and the sound of the tree, and the sound of sea water. And who used to say the king's ear is like the ears of a donkey. All the people knew about the shape of the king's ears. The king was sad for that, and the young barber said, "O king, that your ears are long so that you can hear the people's complaints and demands." So the king, pleased with the words of the young barber, and gathered his people and said that my ears are like a donkey in order to hear your demands and complaints, and how to be a just king who loves you all, and from then on he became a loving king who does not oppress anyone.
I hope you liked the story and that you have benefited from it. Please do not forget to share it with your friends so that everyone benefits. Goodbye.